Good morning, family and friends. Sergeant OCD here. You know how when you scroll through YouTube, you look up one thing and you just keep going, and it just goes into all these different things? Well, that's where I'm at. So, originally I was looking up a way to make a stove, a gas stove out of tin cans. So I've been looking obviously for some cans. These are too high, these are too low, these are not right. But today or yesterday I was going through my pantry looking for expired food, or food that's close to being expired. I do have some that are expired, but by like 2017 expired, and I knew that they were in there. They're just some garbanzos. But if you see these rings here, all the videos I've watched looks like that this is the best way to cut this and get this inserted in here. And I think the reason why is because if you remember when we char material, that a little bit of a gap will let the gases out. So obviously when you light wood on fire, like I did this morning, the gases are coming out, obviously, you know, along with some waste, which is your smoke. So I think the idea is this gap here, and I got a little worm in there too, this gap here, this air gap, because this is actually going to be turned over, the air will come in and then go into holes in this one, and there's holes in the, there's going to be holes in the bottom here and all the side and here and bottom and top. I think the idea is your air intake will come and help your fuel, which is your wood, ignite with the constant air intake, and then the gases that rise up here, the holes that are going to be up here, will ignite. So I think that's the concept behind it. I don't know, but I wanted to explain what I was doing. I'm finally glad enough to get my project bench back. I found some steel. Obviously, like I said before, I don't have a welder, but I can use it as chimneys. The other cool thing I saw is a, believe it or not, people are making, now I don't have the right candles, I need stick candles that would go all the way down, but they're making long-lasting candles out of shortening. So I figured, I had some old bowl jars up in my loft. This ain't gonna work, but I could always stick this whole thing in there. Like I said, I couldn't find any stick candles at Walmart, and I don't know what the deal is. So I can empty some of the shortening out, and that's just standard all vegetable shortening. Put this whole candle in here, and I could light it and have a candle for a long time. Now the benefit for that is if the power ever goes out. The other thing I can do with this is I could put a big terracotta pot on top, and heat would radiate from that terracotta pot. So I'm going to try that later. Maybe not today, but you know, this is what's on my project bench. The other thing is, other than keeping this shop a little warmer, we're at 50 degrees today. We started at 50 degrees. And you know, I want to thank a lot of people for commenting on my videos. I embrace candor and constructive criticism, and I want to thank all the people that are watching, you know, from work and my church groups. It's just I didn't expect all this. I started making these videos for my kids, and just because I want them to know how to do what I know how to do. And if I don't know how to do it, like a lot of this stuff, I'm going to learn how to do it like I have. And that's what this channel is all about. looking at something on YouTube and giving it a rating on how hard it is to build. So I have a pot. It leaks, so there's a hole somewhere. I'm not sure where it is. Don't really care. The idea I have with this is to make a oil waste burner. So I'm going to take this pot and I'm going to use this as a paint can, but I'm going to put a paint can in here, poke holes in the side for air, run a blower motor into that air, and then put a feed for oil. I may use this, I want to use this for something else, but I could turn this upside down, cut a hole right here, and use this valve as a drip valve. I'm trying to spend as little money as possible doing this. Every paint can I have has a plastic bottom, so obviously that's not going to work. I was thinking about using my candle burner, but the whole thing is this is just a shell that's going to hold everything. And I've seen some of the Oriental countries, they put concrete in there. Most of the US and Canadian, they weld. And I want to try to do this without welding because I don't have a welder. Anyway, the whole idea is this is your combustible chamber. Oil's going to sit on the bottom. It'll be heated up by the rest of the flame, and oil will ignite at its flash point, which I have to put that in, and the air will blow the flame. And I've seen flames up to 964 degrees Fahrenheit. It was like 525 or something like that. So it gets pretty hot. So what I have to do there, that's why I'm looking at chimneys, because I'm going to have to run a chimney into a pipe to let it go out the chimney in here. So those few little projects, I'm going to get working on this, and I'll be back when I actually have lines drawn on here where I'm going to drill. And that's all I have to do. I have to drill it and fit it in, and then fire it up. Now I got an extra can here just because out of this top I'm going to make just a little offset so I could set a pan or a pot on there, just so I could boil some water. I marked all my cans. I mean, I don't think it has to be exact. I'm not building a rocket ship, so if it's a little off, you know, it won't work. I mean, you know, I understand how the concept of this. The one thing I was curious about is, you see the gap there? There is no gap in between these, which would be the bottom here, and this is going to poke through here, and this is open. So there's no gap, and that's why the air here will come in. I'm just wondering if I use a small can with a big can like that, I'm just wondering about the gap. So I'm going to actually build another one with that. The other thing is, this is warming up in here. My stove, as soon as I put a seal on that door, it's working well, and you know, you can hear the stove working. When I can hear a stove working, it's awesome. Anyway, this shows it's like 56 degrees. You know, I take that with a grain of salt. It's a $2 thermometer. So all I've got to do is poke holes in the bottom here, or ooh, I almost messed up. This is going to go through here. I got to poke holes in the bottom here. Let me mark that. Yeah, sometimes you get upside down. And this is the only can I have. Well, actually, no, I have 6 more of these. Some green beans are going to expire at the end of the year, so I'm going to eat these now for lunch. So what I need to do is cut that out, poke this through, but before I poke it through, I've got to have holes here on this top, and then I've got to have holes below this ridge, and then holes on the bottom. So poked holes in the bottom. I couldn't find my Unibit. I just saw it the other day and I'm not sure where it is. So biggest drill bit I had was 3/8. It should work. Actually that's 7/16, my bad. And then I put a 1/4 inch hole here. It should be big enough just to, you know, and I just poked a bunch of holes in there. I didn't really use a pattern because I started to, and then I got off a little bit and it like went into another hole, and then I lost interest. One thing I was looking, when I was looking for my Unibit, this used to be my old Boy Scout knife. And if you guys remember Gilligan's Island, he used this as a walkie-talkie, a communicator. So anyway, this was a good find. I mean, everything on here you use. So I thought I couldn't remember where I put it. Most of the knives I find in the house I put in one bin up in my office. I basically have everything ready to go in crates. So I could just pack up all my crates and go if I need to. That's why this table's so small. It's a 4x4. It's perfect for me. I can throw it out, throw it on my trailer and go. Anyway, that was a good find. So I saw a couple of different ways to do this. One is just to cut it into that ring so it fits down in there. And the other is to cut slits like I did and bend those down, but I've already cut myself a couple of times, and of course, you know, work, they're talking about safety at home too, so I don't want to go home or go back to work with, you know, a bandage or anything. So one of the things also I didn't have is I had a pair of tin snips, but they were dull as crap. So I gotta see if I can sharpen them or sharpen them, or, you know, just cut my losses and buy a new pair. So we're gonna see if this guy goes in there. It should fit snug. This side, let's see where it's catching. All right. Yeah, I don't plan, when I do any of these videos, I don't do one first or plan it to do whatever. I just do it. Because that's what you're going to do, right? You're just going to try it out, and if it doesn't work, you're going to be like, what the heck? This one is pretty easy. It's just time consuming, and I just messed up. So I'm going to have to get the... Don't use channel locks on that. I just bent them all back and hopefully just stop putting things in upside down. Alright, so that's it. That's the stove. So you've got your bottom in here. So when it's sitting on the ground, air intake comes in here. I may have to pinch those off a little bit more. This is your air holes on the bottom. It'll suck in air here, and I think this is where the air coming in mixing with the gases in the flame will make it hotter. I'm not really sure. All I know is it's nice and portable. Yesterday I saw a couple that were, I made it this way, you know, instead, and he put he had a chimney here, but you could feed it this way, and then another guy doing it this way, putting another can here and feed it from the bottom here. So I mean, there's many ways to make these type of stoves. Just don't go by my directions, because I'm just going by how easy or hard it is. Just trying to correct my mistake here. All right, we're outside. I threw a coal in there from my fire, and I'm just trying to find some things to catch. Obviously, with the wind blowing, it's going to help it out a little bit. But the only problem with this is you got to have smalls in there, you know, smalls or finger level. Now, this is a pretty big coal. I mean, it was like, you see those peanuts when you were young? Those little orange peanuts? It's about the size of that. So I'm just going to try to stir it up a bit. Now, I saw another guy. He put, there it goes. He put rivets in here, in each corner, so he could set a pot right on top. I just wanted to make one, you know? Just because I saw it on YouTube and I wanted to see how easy it was. I had it going. Yeah, that wind coming into these holes here, and I could see it blowing on the coals, same as if I would be blowing like with my air hose. That's kind of cool. Let's get some more fuel in there. So, out of this, ease of making, I would, out of 1 out of 10, it's probably about a 7 or an 8, only because you really have to know diameter just to get your lines straight. And I don't think these holes are exact, but it's easy to make. I mean, it's easy to mess up too. You've seen that. I'm real good at messing up things. Now, you know, first attempt. I'm going to try with the larger one to have a larger can. I'm not sure what it's going to do, but it's pretty cool. Let's see if I can get this thing going. There we go. All I got to do is lift it up. That was weird. So, I went ahead and made this. All I did was cut the top off a can, drill some holes. I'm going to go ahead and put it on this way because the wind's coming from the west here, southwest, and I've got some flame going, so I'm going to go ahead and put my pot of beans on. Now the way I could do this is I could feed this from here, but I'm going to let some of that wood burn in there, that fuel burn. So yep, burn myself again. That's twice today. I shouldn't touch hot things, right? If you do get a burn like that, right away, put some vinegar on it. It'll stop the pain, stop the burn, and not necessarily stop it from blistering, but keep it from blistering. And I've got that's why you should always wear gloves, because I've got a metal splinter in my thumb. Yeah, there we go. So, this is my job for the next, I don't know, however long it takes to boil those. So, it's a neat little stove. I like it. I'm not sure it's working the way it should. I'm going to try it again with another can. I did find a Diddy Moore canned beef stew that I have to eat, and a little garbanzo can that I'm not eating because it's 2017 as well as the other cans. So I'm not hurting for cans, that's for sure. My co-worker gave me a propane tank, so I'm going to try to make something out of that. I'm into stoves right now, simply because it's winter. Well, it will be winter soon. It's actually fall. It'll be winter soon, and I want to stay warm. I'm looking at making some of these window heaters out of solar power and, believe it or not, cans. So basically you build a wooden frame, you put the cans in, you poke holes in the bottoms of the cans, you already have top ones, you seal them together, and the sun will, or the solar panel will turn a fan, and that fan will circulate air from inside air through the cans, which will heat up and force air out. And I'm pretty sure it goes the other way, because heat rises and that's what you want. I'm just thinking, because this winter is going to be rough. It's not going to be bad, it's just going to be rough with heating, because everything's gone up. You know, everything's up. I mean, I just heard something was up 73%. Oh, turkeys. Turkeys are up 73%. So I'm going to take my bow and go out to a field behind me and get my own turkey. So that's all I got to say about that. So yeah, this is, I mean, it's hot. I don't know how hot this is. Doesn't even look like it's going. So it may take a little bit to do this. I didn't time this, but I think I've been talking for probably 10 minutes. So I might just go ahead and go get a chair and feed this fire and see what happens. They don't take long to boil. And since that spoon's ready, so I'm gonna have me some beans. They're ready to go. Yeah, that didn't work out for us. The other stove. I think it would take too long anyway. You know, go big or go home. I think it's a nice little novelty, a little project, but I don't think it's anything I'm going to carry with me or use. The idea of, you know, getting the most efficiency out of wood is key. So I am going to try to perfect it, but I'm not going to put a lot of time into it. I'm going to put more time into my oil burner. Anyway, God bless you, family. Take care. Make sure you train, keep up your projects, and hey, keep the comments. Whether I see you in person or you comment on my videos, keep the comments coming. You know, I haven't been beat up yet, but I'm sure I will. But I'm just trying to reproduce videos that I see on YouTube to make sure to see how easy this is, you know, or hard this is. Today's project was, you know, between a 7 and an 8. If I would have had the right bit, I probably would have got it to work. I'm pretty confident that it needs more air. Anyway, God bless your family. Take care.